Let's bring in now our US analyst, Kristin Tate. Now, great to see you, Kristin. You've had trouble getting through all the blocks around the lockdown that we've had of this city over the past couple of days. I want to start off with you. This has been an incredible day. As I said at the top of the program, it's impossible to list everything that's unfolded today, but the central focus was that inauguration speech. What did you make of it?
Oh, it was an epic day for America and for the country. I mean, you would have to be deranged, Chris, to listen to that speech and be upset by what Donald Trump said. And the best part about all of this is that now Donald Trump and the Republicans can get to work on all the things they've been promising us for years.
He's already getting to work on it.
That's exactly right. He's already getting to work. He withdrew from the Paris Climate Treaty. He told all the office workers in the federal government they got to get back to work in office. He pardoned 1,500 January 6th political prisoners. He ended birthright citizenship. That's huge. He reinstated Remain in Mexico. I mean, I could sit here for 30 minutes and go on and on. It was just incredible. We are already winning, and I'm not tired of winning yet.
I tell you what, I don't know whether you could quite understand. You probably could, given the Democrat regime you've just been through here. But this one decision of withdrawing America from the Paris Climate Agreement has massive ramifications, including for Australia's countries like ours, because these are such contentious policies, and America bailing out increases the pressure on everybody else to get sensible. The other factor that we had a look at in that speech, of course, with other global issues, peace in the Middle East and the like, and Donald Trump, of course, was extremely ambitious. Have a look.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
Yeah, Kristin, Donald Trump there stating the obvious, that it's been his impetus that's delivered the ceasefire in the Middle East and is bringing hostages home. And then afterwards, when we had the indoor inauguration parade, he had hostages and hostage families there with him, greeting him. It was an incredible moment. Even Noah Agamani, who was seen all around the world, we saw those horrific pictures of her taken off on a motorcycle. Luckily, fortunately, later on she was freed. She's there on stage with the president. It's so powerful.
Yeah, we're already seeing the fruits globally of strong leadership in the United States. And I have to say, it was just so refreshing to finally have a leader who talks about not just America, but the world as being on the rise, instead of just accepting sort of this managed decline. This is sort of an idea that the elites in this country have accepted for the last 4 years. And it was great to just feel like we're back, we're strong, and the best days are ahead.
OK, let's have a cheeky one here, because this is what amazes me about Trump. At times, it infuriates me, and other times it just makes me laugh along with him, and that is the man's giant ego. This man has so much self-belief. Why wouldn't he, I suppose, after the greatest political comeback of all time? But here's a sample of some ego in Donald Trump's speech.
I was saved by God to make America great again. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country.
Wow, does he really believe he was saved by God to lead the nation? Do people indulge him on this ego trip, or?
Well, I believe that he thinks he was saved by God when he avoided being assassinated by a fraction of an inch. I mean, that really did seem to be an act of God. But look, we all know Trump has a larger-than-life personality. That's part of what makes him so fascinating, and part of the reason why the entire world is just watching every move he makes with just utter fascination right now.
Well, the other aspect of his speech was highlighted a key part of his political agenda too, is taking up some of the culture wars and talking about things that to mainstream Americans and mainstream people around the world just seem like common sense. For instance, the biological fact that there are two sexes. Here's Donald Trump.
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Yeah, this stuff is so pertinent and controversial, and is also welcomed by so many around the world. The end of DEI, two genders. Your thoughts on all this?
Well, so many Trump supporters are happy to have someone who's just saying what's on everybody's mind. I mean, this is all common sense stuff, and this is why Trump supporters will walk over glass for the guy. I've been with Trump supporters my whole time here in D.C., and they will stand out in the cold for hours just to get a glimpse of this president or to hear him speak. I mean, people were out there waiting in the frigid cold, often without adequate clothing, because they're so passionate about this president, and this is why, because he gives voice to common sense. This should not be controversial stuff anymore, and the fact that it has shows how far the left has gone off the cliff.
That's exactly the point. So many people agree with the stuff, but they have to pussyfoot around it. They're scared to do it, especially politicians.
Not
and
anymore,
people
though.
Well, this is
Trump made it safe.
Yeah, he did make it safe. I want to go to one aspect of this that troubles me, and I don't know whether Trump will ever make amends for it in a way. And have a look at the pictures here, because there were events very early in the day, prayer services and meetings, meet and greet at the White House and all the rest of it, where the Bidens were with the Trumps. Now, this is a wonderful, polite and generous way to have a peaceful transfer of power, and it's become very much part of the inauguration tradition. But of course, this is something that Donald Trump denied the Bidens when he lost the last election. He just left town, didn't even attend the inauguration. He didn't give that crucial loser's consent that's fundamental to democracy. Do you think he might regret that now? Because this was a lovely touch today.
I don't know if he does regret it, because I think Donald Trump truly believes the last election was stolen, and he repeated that actually several times today. I thought it was classy of Biden to do that, although we don't have to forget the fact that Biden's last act as president was pardoning his whole family.
Well, this is
the defender of norms, the defender of democracy, pardoning his whole family on his way out the door.
You have preempted my thinking there, because I was being nice to the Bidens there, because it was a nice touch and they did the right thing there, but it's a disgraceful day for them. Joe Biden leaves the presidency now a greatly diminished figure, if that was even possible, because he was shamefully now preemptively pardoned his whole family. Now, this means all the allegations that we've heard over many years that most of the media have ignored about Hunter Biden and the family being involved in enriching themselves through Joe Biden's political power. There's got to be a huge sense that there's substance there.
Yeah, these pardons were extraordinary. You know, usually a pardon is specific to a certain class of crimes. This was very blanket. Just anything they may have done is pardoned. And it sets a very scary precedent for presidents going forward. I mean, presidents may just do this now as a standard practice. And it's quite ironic that this is the man the media has held up for years as being the defender of norms, this great savior of democracy. But am I surprised it happened? No. I will say I think Joe Biden's quite happy going off into the sunset, because he thinks that the media wishes that they never replaced him with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, well, let's just have a look then at, I think, one of the most bizarre events today. It turned out to be a lot of fun for everybody. That was the indoor inauguration parade. Here's some of the razzmatazz.